The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent, including Olas Media.
Olas Media. Olas Media presents Cannabis Enlightened. Now here's your host, Dr. Leroy Brady.
Well, season 2, we're not changing our overall mission of education, information, and knowledge. We're not going to change that. We're just going to move it up. I like to think about it being Cannabis Enlightened 2.0. We're going to have some dynamic guests come on. We're going to be looking at topics, some of which we may have looked at in season 1, but we're going to do a deeper dive into some of those same topic areas. For instance, social equity. We talked about social equity in season 1, but we're going to do a much deeper dive into social equity in season 2.
So what differentiates this season 2 from your initial season 1?
This year, I'm looking more at topics that are interesting to people that are in the cannabis industry. Hot topics that are of note right now, and personalities that are in the cannabis industry, whether they be from the sports area, whether they be celebrities. I want to bring them on to give their particular story. Now, this also gives us an opportunity to give a heads up to the listening audience, which is something I didn't do before. I wasn't able to let the audience know that, coming next week is, and now I'll be able to do that. State of cannabis in terms of where the industry is. And that's one of the things we're going to find out in the program. One of the things I say all the time is that the business of cannabis is a moving target. Something is new all the time. It's changing. It's evolving. One of my good friends has said, if you meet someone that tells you they know everything about cannabis, the best thing you can do is turn and run from that person, because there's always something new to learn. The guests that I'll have on the second season will be giving their particular point of view of the business as a cannabis professional, but not necessarily the word in cannabis. So I'm going to give the listening audience a variety of points of view, which I think is really good, because we talk about the fact that knowledge is power.
Could you share some of the guests that you'll have on season 2?
Absolutely. I think we're going to have some very interesting guests, some people who are seasoned cannabis professionals that are at the top of their particular industry. One is going to be Kayla Sanchez, who's CEO of her own company. This lady started off to be a nurse, but decided that she would come into the cannabis industry and start writing cannabis policies, which is dynamite for people that are trying to get into the cannabis business, and for people that have always been wondering, what do I need to do to be in the cannabis industry? And to find out that Kayla started off and studied to be a nurse, but now she's in another area, is going to be a very welcomed knowledge for them as they move into the cannabis industry.
Define equity as it relates to the cannabis industry.
Wow, defining equity, and that's something that in season 1, I think I devoted at least 2 episodes to social equity. And I'm going to be looking at that again and drilling down on it again in season 2 rather. And we're going to have a couple of consultants, I believe, come on and talk about social equity. And it's, the topic that I have set for that is social equity, real or make-believe. Is it real? our states actually focused on bringing people of color and women into cannabis and giving them an opportunity to actually be successful, or is it just a lot of lip service? So we're going to hear from people who have been really involved in social equity, whether or not they feel it's real or it's not. Well, I think what people are going to see, what our listening audience is going to see, is that cannabis is much larger than most folks think. The business of cannabis stretches from the flower itself all the way to things that will help people to feel better and to work better. So, a lot of people don't know that there is a lot more in cannabis than what meets the eye.
Coming this spring, March and Ash is proud to present the second season of Cannabis Enlightened with Dr. Leroy. To catch up or replay the first season, visit CannabisEnlightened.com.
Cannabis Enlightened is produced in San Diego, California, and presented by March and Ash at marchandash.com. On behalf of Dr. Leroy, I'm Chris Cantori, and thank you for listening.
Olas Media.